What's up, everybody? Wagon is capitalism, colonialism, and patriarchy. My guest today is going to be an artist that goes by the name of Hayu Music. So yeah, I'm going to send him an invite, and then we'll get going on what we got going. Thank you for all the support lately. We got a lot of stuff going on. I've been trying to dance as much as I can, so episodes have kind of slowed down a lot. But yeah, a lot coming up for the upcoming fall season of dancing. Hopefully, some shows, all of that. Hopefully, also some merch coming to you guys soon too. But yeah, I'll be announcing all that soon. But the episode today can be the homie Hayu Music. Came across him on social media, just people sharing, and yeah, super dope. Got some lo-fi beats behind his rap, so I think it's super cool. So go ahead and let me know if you're able to join, and we'll try to figure it out. Also, if you see that, okay, there we go.
Yo, oh,
What's
the other way.
all right?
There you
There
go.
we go. What's up? How you doing today?
Doing great, man. How are you? Of
I'm good. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate
course.
it.
Appreciate you
What's up,
having
Len?
me.
Yeah, sorry for all the mix up and trying to get so many places, but
It's
we're here now.
all
That's all
good.
that matters.
Yeah,
We're gonna go ahead and do a prayer, and then we'll get going into the questions we got going for you.
sweet.
So, I want to send love to anybody out there that's suffering from domestic violence issues. I want to send love to anybody that's suffering from mental health issues. I want to send love to our unhoused community. I want to send love to anyone suffering from mental health issues. I want to send love to anybody that is out there in Gaza, out there in Sudan, anywhere else that is experiencing genocide in this moment or has experienced genocide. And lastly, I want to send love to the land that I stand on today, and that's Pomo territory up in Point Arena, California. If you guys want to drop in the comments wherever you guys are at, that'd be dope. But today, my guest is Hayu Music. Been looking at your Instagram and your TikToks and all that for a minute now, so I've been
Yeah,
trying to reach out for a minute, but finally made it
sweet.
happen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and give yourself an intro, like where you're from, who
for
your
sure.
people are, tribes or whatnot. If you grew up on the res, and then we'll get going on from there.
Sweet. Sounds good. So yeah, IU. My name's Anthony. My artist name is IU, and I live here on Ohlone territory in San Jose, California, and yeah, man. Just living life, doing the family thing. Got a family going right now, and just um, living the life. I tell everyone I'm living the life right now. I'm really, really excited to be where I'm at. Just alive in general, and to have a family. Uh, when I was younger, I didn't really see myself having a family or, being an adult and doing all this stuff. I was like terrified of being an adult, and I didn't think that I could handle it well. But proud I'm here, and I'm proud to be here. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
It's just me.
How old's your
Oh yeah.
daughter?
So she's
Awesome.
18 months. Yeah,
It's
she's about to
beautiful.
be 2 in New Year's Eve. Um,
Okay, right on.
so yeah, yeah.
So first I'm gonna start off with this. What does Hayu translate to? Because I'm pretty sure I know, but like I want
Yeah, so Hayu is basically dog in Southern Pomo. So my a nickname that like my family has for me is kind of Hayu Wachachai, which is dog man. I guess during COVID, so I did a lot of touring with music and stuff, and then during COVID, we weren't really able to play music anymore. Everything stopped. So um, me and my wife like developed this like giant fear of like being around people just clearly because of the pandemic. So like I started working with dogs. And I owned and rescued dogs before, so it was kind of like it was something I always kind of wanted to do, and I always kind of thought myself as like a dog, like with the loyalty and like the way that I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve and stuff. So, yeah, I ended up, you know, managing and working with dogs for like eight, almost 10 years, and it was an awesome journey. Being able to know them, and know their traits, their attitudes, how to approach them, and how to train them, how to love them, and training teams and showing like younger kids like how to care and love for them too was pretty dope.
That's
Um,
awesome. Um,
yeah,
at what point? So you've been 10 years. So man, do you remember the first like moment you were like, "This is I want to really want to get into saving dogs and helping animals."
yeah. I think I think from the moment that I kind of started like having my own, um, you know, I don't know. I like res dogs are res dogs, and I didn't personally grow up on the res, but in my neighborhood, there's just dogs running around everywhere, and I always kind of like felt bad for like like abandoned dogs and stuff like that. And like working with like the hotels and stuff, like you see a lot of people like just kind of abandoning the dogs. If they're older, they kind of just let them go, or they go to the shelter. And I think like learning how to love and care for them, like in those last like kind of moments of their lives, kind of meant a lot to me. Just showing them like that what actual love is, um, and then also getting that companionship back, like being depended on, was kind of cool and felt like okay, well, I think like I think I kind of want to be a parent eventually, but let's try this out with the dog stuff. So doing daycare and feeding them, giving them medications, and stuff like that, and just taking care of them. Like taking care of dogs that had so much anxiety, they like ripped out like their chest hair. But taking them out on walks, being patient with them, and showing them that love and stuff like that. I feel like as people, we can all kind of relate. Like we have anxiety, like there's conditions where people rip out their hair. Like me, I was a very, very anxious person and very emotional, like growing up and stuff. So um, I felt like the care and love that I kind of wanted, I was just kind of reciprocating that uh, in that environment, I guess.
That's beautiful. And you said you have a couple of dogs. Do you still have dogs of your own?
Yeah, yeah. I got a German Shepherd, Great Pyrenees mix, and I got a Siberian Husky.
Man, that's beautiful. You have some
Big
big
dogs,
dogs then.
some big dogs, bro.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They're crazy.
And you said you're Central Pomo. Did you grow up in that area?
Southern Pomo.
Oh, oh yeah, right.
But I didn't. I did not. I did not grow up. I'm city native for sure. Um, there are a lot of like issues and stuff growing up, with my mom and my dad, and I basically grew up with my mom here, like in the city. So, um, just been on a journey reconnecting as much as I can, and kind of like leading the way for the rest of my family, for my sisters, and um, it's been humbling and it's been wonderful. We've always been interested in kind of learning more about our culture and stuff like that, but it was kind of hidden from us growing up, and um, once we became adults, it was kind of like evident that like I don't really relate to like this world, if that makes sense. So I fully started trying to reconnect and get back in touch with my culture, and my family that is on the res and stuff like that, and started to find that this is where I belong, this is who I relate to, and this is what I relate to. Um, yeah,
I think that's beautiful because I think it's really important to tell the two different stories of the res native and the city native
yeah,
because people tend to think that we only exist on reservations, right?
yeah,
But
right,
like as I got older, especially because I grew up on the res, but like as I got older and started exploring more and started meeting new people, I understood that man, natives are all over the place, you
yeah,
know, and that's beautiful. And
everywhere,
I think it's super beautiful that you're like what you said about you being hopefully being an inspiration for the rest of your family to try to reconnect as well.
right. Like I think there's like I don't know if it's a stigma, but like behind like being a city native that you're not like fully or really native. Um, and I think like growing up in the city, and that's a little bit from like lateral violence, but not too much. But it's also from a lot of people that are just not native at all. That don't really, like you said, like they perceive us and they kind of think we all grow up on the res. So it's like, well, what are you doing here? Like, so I think like being a city native, like it was hard, like trying to connect and reconnect because like it's like when you're in the city, like everything just doesn't feel right. Like I've gone out and I've like been to Clear Lake and I've gone to Mount Canocti and it's electric, like being in those areas. But like the second I come back into the city, it's like I feel it, like I feel a change and I feel like there's a barrier, like a blockage. Um, but I think that it was kind of hard, like, trying to reconnect and do that, like from the city standpoint. But, yeah.
Is that where your family's from?
It's very Santa
Okay.
Rosa. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I just was like, that's trippy that you say you went to Mount Kanaka because I got the shirt from their big time that we went to.
ew, dude,
That's
what?
that's pretty tripped out that you said that.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I
I,
was like,
I,
well,
it's
also you said Southern Pomo, so that wouldn't be Lake County.
our
I don't
area
know why.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, uh, I still feel like, because that's central. That's not central Pomo. Um, I mean Pomo are over there too, and they
Yeah.
shared the land with I think the Miwok. Um, but I think when I was like learning about everything, I think the first part of my like reconnecting journey was learning about Bloody Island, and everything that kind of happened there. And then that's when I started learning a little bit more and visiting with my family a little bit more and finding out like, well, what kind of pomo are we? There's different types of pomo, and getting down to it was beautiful. Just seeing the different dialects, knowing that we had different areas and different bands and stuff like that, and um, yeah, like yeah,
Is uh is it your mom's side or your dad's side that is Pomo?
my dad's side,
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. And I we're jumping all over the place, but I want to get back to music.
That's all good.
And
Yeah, oh yeah.
at what point did you start getting into music?
Oh, sorry, cut off. It's my
At
phone.
what point did you start writing your own music and like being like, I
Oh,
want to be a hip hop artist?
I've been writing music since I was like 13 years old. Um, but I actually kind of growing up, like I didn't really have a big relationship with my dad and my uncles. So I actually kind of hated rap because they were in like a rap group.
Oh, okay.
So I went the other way and I was into rock and I was like touring with bands and stuff like that growing up and making my own stuff, whether it was like in a band or like doing my own singer-songwriter type of stuff. And it wasn't until the pandemic that I started getting into hip hop and lo-fi, like type of hip hop and stuff like that. It was a little bit easier to like put out music, and I think at the time I had like a lot of anger and a lot of emotions built up, and I was writing a lot of poems and poetry. Um, and I started like listening to beats and kind of just spitting them over them and making them fit, and finding that they fit. So I was kind of like, wait, I think I can rap. Like, well, let me try this out. So I started, laying out a couple demos and stuff like that, and put some stuff out on SoundCloud, and was getting some good feedback. So I was like, dude, I think I can do this. Like, it's a different, totally different thing than I've ever done. But I started loving it, and I was like, okay, I actually love rap and hip hop. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool. So
it
you've been
kind of went
around
from
music
there.
for a really long time.
Yeah, yeah,
And
like
so you
I would do like high school battle of the bands and stuff like that, open mics, and stuff like that growing up.
so you
Um,
played an
just playing.
instrument as well.
Yeah, I played a lot actually. I played bass. Um, the bands that I've been in, I've always played bass, but I also play guitar, electric, acoustic, um, and I started out with that first. I tried to do drums, but it was too loud, and my mom was like, "Hell no!" So she was like, "I'm gonna get you a guitar." So I just kind of went from there. Um, yeah.
Okay, so do you also make your own beats as well?
I tried my ADHD. Like, I don't have the patience. I start like getting too frustrated. Um, So I don't know why, which is weird because I don't know if it's because it's more technical. Like for me, it's easier to pick up a guitar and come up with chords and sing it out. But I have a hard time like meshing everything together in a beat. So I kind of get my beats like online from other producers and stuff like that. But I have a huge respect for producers because it's a whole art form in itself. Like being able to have the vision for a beat and to make it, and then put it online. I like being able to go and buy beats and support um, producers and stuff like that that have an art too. So in my way, it's a lot of collaborating whenever I'm like looking for a beat and stuff like that.
Hell yeah. So when you are writing some of your poetry, do you listen to the beat first and then you start writing, or do you start with your poetry and then like get to a beat and then fit it to the beat?
When I first started, it was my poems and my poetry. But then it swapped, and whenever I listen to a beat, I'll kind of just start writing to it. Um, and I'll like listen to it like two or three times, and I'll go through it in my head, and then from that point on, I'll either just jump on the mic and do it, or I'll just type it down and go from there.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I like to ask each artist like what their writing process is because I'm super curious.
Yeah, yeah, everyone's different. It's pretty cool. It's kind of cool like being able to like hear the beats and like hear something like it. Sometimes it. I usually start with like the chorus first, and then I kind of like build around from the chorus, like writing the verses and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. And where can people find out your music?
Um, I'm everywhere. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, all of that stuff. SoundCloud, Bandcamp. Um, which I kind of prefer Bandcamp and because you can directly support the artist and they get a bigger cut. You can buy the music and download it and keep it forever. We're streaming. It's split and like you can do 10K streams and you'll see like $20 from it, which is like insane. So,
Yeah,
um,
dude, like
but everywhere,
Spotify is Spotify is
it's
like
crazy, dude.
it's insane. To get like a
It's
like anything, you gotta like push 100,000 views or whatever, listens or whatever, and it's like, fuck,
Yeah,
dude, that's
it's hard.
insane.
It's like hard to get like 10,000 strings, and then like it's a little defeating when you're like, oh yeah, dude, like I wonder how much money I got, and you look and it's like $15, $20, and it's better than not having that, but it's kind of like shit, like they make a lot of money off of the platform and exposing artists and stuff like that, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad to have that support and to have that many people listening, and to see that like it means the world to me. I didn't think that when I started this that I would kind of have that type of love and support. So it's been amazing seeing the growth that I've had. I went from like three to like 100, and I think like I'm at a thousand monthly listeners right now. And seeing that number, like it makes me cry. I'm like emotional. Like music is so important to me, and to know that like stuff that I make, people resonate with that and they listen to it every day. It's like it means the world being able to like put something out positive that's like in the world and it's helping people like get through whatever they get through. I try to be as positive in my music as possible. Like I've been 2 years sober now. No like weed, no alcohol. And I kind of just stopped cold turkey. So I feel like in music, it's so easy to talk about drinking and smoking and partying and stuff like that, but it's a little bit harder to like make a good song about being sober and loving life and being grateful and thankful. And that's kind of where I wanted to make sure that because I have some songs where I'm talking about smoking and drinking and stuff, and they're fun, but I kind of didn't want that to be like my legacy. I realized like growing up, like you're in charge of your legacy, you're in charge of who you are and your family, your everything. So why not do something good and positive with it? And growing up, I don't want my daughter to grow up and listen to me talking about smoking and drinking. I want her to listen to me being positive about being sober and doing it for her and for my family, and being successful in that. So, um, just trying to spread more positivity in the world, and seeing that people connect with it truly means the world to me.
I love the fuck
Yeah,
out
man.
of that, dude. Like, congratulations
Oh,
on
yeah.
being 2 years sober. I'm 4 years from alcohol and cocaine, but I still smoke weed.
Dude,
But
congratulations, dude.
like,
It's hard, man.
I couldn't. I whenever somebody says they're sober, I get so happy. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
our neighborhoods, our communities are overran with alcohol.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
dude.
alcohol. Like I want to stop making alcohol so fucking cool.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
let's
me
do
too.
some sober stuff. Like but yeah, I completely like congratulate you on 2 years sober. Um,
Thank you,
and
man. You too
speaking
on your
of
4 years.
Thank you. Speaking of that too, like that just made me think of we have a connection with Santa Cruz and you performed at the Blue Lagoon, which was like one of the frequent
Yeah.
spots I used to frequent down in Santa Cruz. So I just wanted to ask like
Hey.
when one of the was the first time of you performed live your music?
Um. So for High U, the first time I performed live,
Right, your hip hop,
oh,
right.
uh, it was actually in DigiFest in Sacramento. Three Sisters Gardens. They're out in Sac, and they're an awesome community. The things that they do farming and they provide food for people that are that can't afford it. And they have like three or four gardens out up there in NorCal. Um, and they put on in DigiFest, and it's basically just like a celebration of cultural, like different cultures and stuff like that. And they asked me to do it for the second round, and I had never ever even been on stage before, performing music. So, um, but when I went up, I was having so much fun. I'm so used to being in a band and just playing bass and kind of being off by the drummer. So it was different being up in the front and kind of like leading it. So it was a lot of fun. Um, and that was kind of the first time that I had performed, and then I ended up doing a couple more shows. I think one in Richmond and then one in Santa Cruz. I did two in Santa Cruz, and that was a lot of fun too at Blue Lagoon. Um, yeah, I think that's that in DigiFest in Sec.
I like the Blue Lagoon's little dance floor and little stage they got. It's like super cool. It's a little cool little intimate
Yeah,
venue.
dude, I love clubs and intimate venues and stuff like that. I don't really like going to concerts that are like arena tours and stuff like that. I'm like not into it. It's fun, but I love seeing the band up and close and personal, being like side to side with people. It's definitely like a bigger and better vibe. And also like being an artist, like clubs like that exist. It's awesome because not many of them exist anymore. So unless you could draw a crowd. So like Blue Lagoon is awesome. I played there once when I did my acoustic stuff for Santa Cruz Music Festival. They did that for a couple years. I don't know if they still do it, but I got to
Man, that
play
used to be
twice.
that that used to
It
be
was
huge. Santa Cruz
it was
Music Festival.
big, dude. Like it was big. Like that was the first time that I had been offered to play, and I had gotten paid like more than like $100 to play. It was insane. I was like, what? Dude, hell yeah! Like absolutely. And it was awesome. There were so many bands there. There were so many like artists there, and it was just like an amazing hub to network and meet other artists and new fans. So it was dope. Like they blocked off like that whole downtown area, and it's cool. Everyone's just walking around. New band playing in this one, different band playing in this one, and um, I love stuff like that. We got to do more stuff like that. San Jose has something like that. It's called like the Sofa Street Fair, um, and they've been doing it for years. But I highly recommend. If you haven't gone, you should check it out. It's usually like at the end of September and one in like April. It's a dope little festival though.
Do you have any upcoming shows?
Uh, nah, not right now. I'm putting out some music next month, but um, I've just been working like a bunch. Uh, I'm going to When We Were Young Fest in Vegas, so I can see all my favorite emo bands that I listened to when I was growing up. So me and my family are taking a little vacation next month to go and do that in Vegas, and then I'll come back and I might have some shows in November or December, but we'll see. I'm still waiting on the venues and the artist, but
And
hopefully.
I was gonna ask too, when you perform at places like Blue Lagoon, which is a bar, do you struggle at all, or is that nothing that something that's not even in your brain, like drinking, when you go to
Oh
perform
yeah,
at venues like that?
sometimes yeah. When I was in my band, we were called Till I Fall, and we toured so much. My go-to was a Jack and Coke before, Jack and Coke during, and Jack and Coke after. We usually get like two or three drink tickets, so like, um, it's been different, like being in a bar, being in that type of setting, and and wanting that or having that urge or that thought where it's kind of like well, it does sound a little bit refreshing. I think the first time that I played at the Blue Lagoon, I was like kind of like fighting the urge a little bit. But when it got closer for me to get on, I was just, trying to remember my message and stuff like that. And I quickly like kind of got over it. But and it's crazy because like within the 2 years, like I had never really struggled with it. Like I said, I quit like cold turkey. It wasn't an issue. I didn't have like withdrawals or anything like that. But that was like a real test of strength being in a bar, um, and like having that urge just like in your face. And I used to drink a lot. Like on tour, there's nothing else to do. You're basically homeless living in a van, and you're just drinking and smoking the whole time, just living like that. And um, it was it was a little bit of urge there, but um, it's awesome, being able to see yourself overcome that because it's really hard. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I
growing
want
up.
to be able to get to that point, but it's been hard for me. Like I want to be able to go to concerts and hang out, but like it's a little bit hard for me. So I definitely like applaud you for being able to be in those situations in those spaces and not even because you like you said, the message that you want to spread is that of sobriety and love. So like I can see how that want to do that takes over whatever else is going on.
Yeah, and and like I said, it was hard. Like I used to drink a lot. Like I had like one really bad breakup, and I was drinking every night, like bottles and bottles to myself. So, um, like I- especially like if you're on the res, like it's really something that's like poisoned our people, and me being in the city, like it's still something that poisoned me. And it was around me. It was something that I kind of ran to. So like. Um, that it falls back in line with wanting to spread that message because I know the harm that it does. I know the feelings that you get, and the reason that a lot of people resort to drinking. So we can just try and like defer people from going and chasing to that. Then then we're doing a good job. And it starts with
Was
us being sober and talking about it.
100%. Was when you did first perform as a sober, like when you were sober, like was there a different feeling? Because like each of those like performing gives you a certain like like just what do you call it, adrenaline rush or whatever. Was there?
Yeah,
Could you tell the difference of being sober and performing and not being sober?
yeah, for sure. Um, you know, drinking and not being sober, it's kind of like out of mind a little bit. Like you're kind of like lost in I don't know how to explain it, but being sober, I felt more present and I felt more aware, and I was having more fun, like being there and living that moment. Because like you use alcohol and stuff like that to kind of escape or to kind of enter into like this different person or this different state of mind, and being in your right state of mind, like I call it my warrior state, like being there, like you get to fully enjoy life. You get to fully enjoy the moment in the situation or whatever it is that you're in. So yeah, like I said, like I was having so much fun, and I was like, yo, this is awesome. Like I like doing this. I want to kind of do more shows and do stuff like this for sure.
Is there anywhere where you're like, man, I want to, that's where I want to perform at?
Um, I really want to. It's kind of cliche, but I really want to perform at like the Indigenous Hip Hop Awards. And being around all those MCs. I think it's so awesome seeing the different like amount of talent that Native people have. Whether it's singing, whether it's like hip hop um, or just like rock and stuff like that. Like there's so much talent like in our community, and it would just be it would be such an honor to like be there, like around those people that have performed on that stage, ever been around that stage and stuff like that. So it's like all in Toronto, but you know, can dream.
I mean, put it out there, dude. You know,
Yeah,
like
for
that's the first. This
sure.
is the like we manifest. Like this may be the first like pu- like bubble put
Start
out
of
there
that
in the world.
manifestation.
You know, you never know I don't know. Like people are listening up in Canada. You never know. They might have connection.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just trying to put it out there for you and both of us that we make it that like
for sure.
you know. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think
beautiful.
that would be beautiful. And you know what I'm like I've been noticing like that I've been doing a lot of these interviews and just like talking to more people. Like the Native community has like a huge. They're like has a population that's really into like heavy metal. I'm noticing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's the headbanging in the pits and the moshing or whatever, but um, I don't know, man. Like there's a huge community. I just found a band on TikTok. Um, shit, I can't remember their name. But they were heavy metal and they were so good. I was like, whoa, what the hell? Like, dude, we break into everywhere, and it's dope seeing like bands like that starting to pop out more, or that I'm seeing them more, like because bands have existed and maybe I wasn't put on right away, but like bands like 1876 that are like straight punk, and it's like awesome hearing their message, doing powwow punk rock, like it's so dope to see, like breaking into those communities, but like with our own sound and like they literally bring like a powwow drum on stage with them, and they're playing punk music. It's awesome. Like it's
Yeah,
fucking
dude,
dope.
that's one band I want to be able to reach out to because
Dude,
it's a
they're
trippy
sick.
sound, dude. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. They're dope. You should reach out, man. They're really nice, like down to earth people. I think he'd definitely be down to hop on. They're really nice.
Yeah,
Very supportive of the community.
I definitely want to reach out because to get the different genres, you know, because
Yeah,
different like the movies always predict natives as like the same fucking people, and it's like tiring as shit.
yeah,
So that's why like I want to just like get into every single crevice that is the native community and like every
for
type of
sure.
person out there.
Yeah,
Um,
man. And that's what like I'm doing hip hop and stuff, but I'm trying to like release like some of my like emo and like kind of rock based stuff too. I want to kind of be multi genre in it because I want to show that like we can do it all. Like there's space for us to exist everywhere. We're not all like in one box. Um, like kind of like you said.
yeah, dude, and I think it's cool as fuck to like be able to go from like you said you like rock and then you also do lo-fi hip hop. That's two cool like pretty
Very
different
different.
like genres that are dope, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and like yeah, I think it's cool to be able to like I have a couple different like music outlets that I can kind of lean towards if my mental health is kind of like feeling low or whatever it may be, you know.
yeah, for sure.
The next topic I want to move on to is I like to ask this to everybody just because everybody has kind of has a different explanation or a meaning or what they feel it is. But what does decolonize mean to you?
Decolonization. I, I think it's recognizing and like dismantling the powers that are like oppressing colonized people. And I've heard that like decolonization is for everyone. But for me, growing up in and trying to reconnect, you start to recognize, and I think that's part of it too, is recognizing like the stuff that are used against communities to tear them down and to keep them in a space, such as like putting us on a res and um, not having access to water and electricity. And that's not every res, but that's a lot of reses um, that you know, like other communities have access to that stuff. And you know, the amount of liquor stores and that are on, you know, every corner, the way that there's a stigma around who we're supposed to be, and them kind of pushing that agenda. I think that's what it's about. And it's hard because it's become such like a poppy, I don't know, poppy
No,
thing, but um, like I don't know if that's the right word, like, but it's definitely been diluted a little bit, and I feel like the foundation's been like shaken a little bit on what it is, but like definitely recognizing and dismantling like the powers and the tools that are used to hold like our communities down and keep us oppressed. Um, at least for me, like I guess that I guess that's what it is for me.
yeah, honestly, every time I ask that question, I learn a a new way of thinking from every single person. So like I
Yeah,
definitely do think like it's last couple times I've asked that question, people have definitely brought that up about it's been used so much that it's almost like not even like it's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's
yeah,
kind
like
of
it doesn't hit the same because like
yeah,
at first like I was definitely like decolonized like fuck yeah, and then you know you get deep into it, and it's like, well, we all speak English, like,
yep,
but then that's also so that also plays into like colonization. Like a lot of us weren't able to speak our languages. A lot of us had it stripped away from us. Like learning Southern Pomo like has been hard. Like you rely on family to teach you things, and well, most people were kind of taught not to write stuff down. Like there have been some elders that have like notebooks of stuff, like how to talk, how to read and write. And there's this guy, Alex, I forgot his name, last name Graham. He literally put out like a textbook of Southern Pomo, um, and he like does classes and stuff like that for Dry Creek Rancheria, which is awesome, and has like developed an app. So like if you have a login, then you can log in and you can learn the language and you can hear how it sounds, and it's really really cool. I, I think stuff like that is starting the process of like decolonization. You know what I mean? Bringing
yeah, I
that language
agree,
back. There's
and
power in our language, bro.
I 100% agree.
You know.
That's a language and my neighbor around the corner, Sal Martinez. He has a class every Monday, I think. And I think like
Sal,
yeah,
I know
if
Sal.
you ever like, he definitely has has some knowledge in Southern Pomo too. So if you
Yeah,
ever have any questions, he's the prime person to go out to because
definitely.
and he'll explain
Yeah,
it like each like because like it's all in the pronunciation and how you use your
yeah.
throat and like stuff like that, and he'll go
Yep.
through each one with you. It's
And it's
important because like I be saying words wrong all the time, and my mom's
oh
like
dude, yeah, me too. All the time. I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm trying, but it's very different. Like it's the glottal, like you said, it's a throat. Like being able to use that. It's kind of hard. Like walk a like stuff like that. It's like, "Fuck, did I do that right? Fuck, no, I did not. Like, but
yep,
you keep trying it, and I don't know if you've seen that meme where it was like, it's like an ancestor in there, and it's like he's crying, and it's like your ancestors when you're like speaking every word wrong, but at least you're trying or whatever. It's like
yep,
that's
yeah,
us. Like,
yeah,
but there's still power in it, I believe. You know, like we're trying, and uh, I went out to uh, Clear Lake, and it was where Bloody Island had taken place, and I had brought like my whole family out there, and I was trying to introduce all of them in our language, like saying this is my sister, you know, this is my wife, this is you know my grandma, and then kind of saying like this is my basket, this is like my life and my legacy, and like it just started like hailing, and there was like thunder, and it was like it was like 80, 90 degrees outside. And it was like, that's when I realized like how real and how powerful like our words are. And that was a little bit too like growing up with my mom, I grew up in church. So like breaking away from, those type of things. And to each their own. I know there's a lot of natives that, they still believe in God and they still go to church. And, we just have different names for it, in my opinion. Like, I'll call him my creator. I don't really say God and all that stuff. So, um, I grew up in church doing those things, and kind of learning to break away and understand that, like I said, like one of the biggest things that I learned from one of my elders was that we create our legacy, that we're in charge of our legacy. And that was kind of like a big reason on why there's so many different bands of Homo, is because there's just different bands kind of, we're all one, but we're all like creating our own legacy, our own languages, and our own ways of life on our own journey. So, everyone's journey is different, but uh, yeah, that's just like one big lesson that I've learned. Uh, I think from all
Hell yeah. And
of it,
actually, shout out to
just
the
from learning
homie.
language.
Yeah, actually, and also shout out to homie Stewie G. I don't know if he's still in here, but he's from Lake Clear Lake and over there in that way. And he's
Yeah,
also a hip hop artist. So, like, if you, another Pomo hip hop artist that you should make a connection with because he's dope. But
yeah,
yeah,
I love
I've
Stewie.
been trying to ask, go for it. What?
Stewie's fire.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
him, uh, Lil Jim, like they're fire artists, and I definitely look up to those fools.
Yeah, it's dope to be able to like, because right now, I mean, I do have my like big artists that I listen to, but right now I try to like mainly keep it to like native artists, and it's mostly like hip hop artists right now.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I want to bump, and I use Spotify, so like I want to bump those listens up as much as I can on Spotify and shit.
yeah. Hey, shout out Stewie. That's
Yep,
dope.
and I've been trying to ask this
That's
question
crazy.
a lot more lately. Yeah, shout out to Stewie. Um, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Oof, damn. I don't know. I was a bad kid. Um, I think I would just continue to say like, just love yourself. Um, that was something that I struggled with. Um, always wanting to like kind of belong and put myself in places that sometimes I wasn't loved. And kind of chasing after love and acceptance and not really knowing that from myself. So I think just loving myself would have saved me a lot of heartache and a lot of like turning to the drinking and stuff like that. I think I would have saved myself a lot of damage that I had done. But like I said, it's all part of the journey. So um, I'm here and I went through that stuff. So I think it was a reason so that I can be able to talk about it and show that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But I think, showing ourselves love and being easy on ourselves, I think that's one thing I would have told myself, like when I was 16,
I
for sure.
love it. And like you said, it's hard. Like I think for the same with me, it's hard to say what I would have told myself because I don't know if I would listen.
Yeah, but dude, for sure. Like, I don't think I was listening to any adult when I was 16. I was like, I was out skating and smoking and doing all kinds of really dumb shit. Like, but like I was just like doing really dumb shit growing up. But
But
yeah, I don't know
it's
if I would have listened.
yeah, and I like what you said too. It's part of the journey. It's I we can speak about it now. Like so it's all love. I try not
Yeah,
to
for
get
sure.
too bent up on the journey I went because yeah, like I did have fun, even though like I did get pretty
Yeah,
deep
for
into
sure.
alcohol and other drugs. There was fun times, but towards the end, it got a little bit rocky, but I'm here now, and
Yeah,
I'm like, there's people that love me that kept me going and are continuing to keep me going on my sobriety,
right.
So
And that's awesome. Those are the people you have to surround yourself with. Um, and stuff happens like real people kind of expose themselves and who they are and their intentions for being around you. I learned so much about that. Like my first album, Shine, is all about learning recognizing how like people use you for their own agenda sometimes, and kind of learning how to recognize that and learn to stand up for yourself. Um, and and it just like the journey, and there's a lot of anger in my first album, and I feel like I sound like kind of such an asshole, but um there's a point where you have to stand up for yourself, and stand up for yourself is also loving yourself. So like I think for me, that was one big thing that I had learned, putting out my first album. um and it was the first time I'd actually ever released an album, like ever. Like I did acoustic stuff, I did EPs and singles, but it was the first time I sat down and ever did a project. So um, yeah, I shout that out. I just dropped another album too with my homie Cameron Tall Chief. He's another native artist, and that dude works so hard. He posts so much every day. I get overwhelmed with social media, but I feel like he embraces it, and he's so talented, and um, I feel like we really vibe really, really well together. Um, I like reached out to him and to do a song, and like he sent it back in like an hour. I was like, what the fuck? He like had it ready, everything was good, mixed, good to go, and I was like, dude, hell yeah, like this dude's awesome. And I kind of inspired to be like that, to be able to write something like quick, and not force it, don't force it, and let it be authentic, what you're feeling and vibing within the moment. So I definitely shout that out real quick. The album's called "You're Gonna Want to Sit Down for This." The lo-fi summer vibe type of album, with a lot of like dope positive vibes like mixed into it. So um, yeah, I forgot to say that earlier. My bad.
No, you're good. This is that. Well, this is the time for that because if there's any topics that I left out or any like shout outs that you wanted to give, I was gonna give that. I was
Oh,
gonna ask you anyways.
jump the gun.
No, 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 no. That's
For sure.
perfect. It's perfect because it flows right into
Yeah.
it, and I didn't even have to ask a question. You just did it, so that's perfect.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, is there any other shout outs you want to give? I really appreciate you coming on because this was beautiful. I love everything you had to say. Congratulations on 2 years being sober.
Thank you.
Congratulations to your family, to your daughter, your baby mama,
Thank you.
everything, dude. You know what I mean? Like your family, your whole family.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
beautiful to hear that you're wanting to be the starting point of your family getting back into the culture and language and everything like that because I
Yeah.
every time I go out and dance, every time I do stuff like that, that's what I pray for as well, is for my
Right.
family to be in the same space.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. Like, I guess shout out to you, for creating this space, for Indigenous and Native people to come in, and not just like exclusive to that, but to talk about our journeys and give us a voice. I think it's it's such it's something that's needed like in the community, and I have the utmost respect for it. You know, like I see you dancing, I see you doing that stuff. It's so beautiful, man. Like being able to sort of be like lead the way. I don't know, not just for your family, but for other outside people too, man. Like I definitely look up to that, and I definitely inspired to be like that, and appreciate and love everything that you do and that you stand for. I remember I came across, I saw Burn the Wagon. I was like, hell yeah! Like, what is that? Like, click. And then just going through and seeing everything, and it was like, dude, yeah, I'm about it. Like, all the support, all the love. Very grateful, to be here and to be able to talk and stuff like that. Be able to do this for sure.
Looks like we
It's an honor,
gotta
bro.
start collecting turkey feathers for you.
Let's do it, bro. I'm
Yep,
I'm
that'd be
down.
tight, man. That'd be beautiful. I to get that started. I love for you to help you do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's shoot for it.
Absolutely.
I know.
Um,
I'm definitely gonna try and make it out to the big times and stuff like that. Be around that a little bit more and bring my family out. Um, I just missed the one this weekend, but me and my family we got sick, so um, you know, I think being able to make time and connect in that way, I think it's necessary, but it's also for growth, it's important to like surround yourself with your community. and to experience that love and stuff like that. Uh, like I would love to dance and do all that stuff and learn more. Um, because ultimately like try and make the ancestors proud, you know. Um, like they didn't die for
And
nothing. Kind of don't want that.
you're already doing that by getting into the language. You're starting that process. You know what I mean? It's you are making your ancestors
Appreciate
proud
that, bro.
because you're here today, and you're
I feel it.
sober and
Touche.
you're fucking doing the thing. So they're proud as hell of you already. You know what I mean? So
Appreciate
just continue
that,
what you're
bro.
doing and pushing out music, pushing out that positivity, because that for me is what I love the most is that
Yeah.
positivity that you have in every single lyric, every post. I love that shit, and because that helps
Thank you.
people like me stay sober, gets me motivated to have these conversations, to ask these questions. To the only reason this platform exists is because of people like you. So all love.
All love, bro. Appreciate that.
All right, man. You have a good rest of your night, and I really, really appreciate you coming on.
Sorry, my phone's like hella choppy right now.
I said, no, you're good. It might be the res Wi-Fi though too, so you never know.
uh,
I said
I
I
feel like I
appreciate you coming
have
on,
that.
and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Appreciate you too, man. Appreciate being here. Shout out, much love, and yeah, man, have a good night. Stay
Right
connected.
on. Thank you.
All right, you cut
All right,
it out.
guys. Oh, you can hit that X in the top corner.
Okay, cool. All right, much love, bro.
All right, peace. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Thank you to High U Music. Check him out on all the streaming platforms, preferably Bandcamp, because that's the best one. Yeah, a couple of events going to be coming up here soon. The Finest Feathers Fashion Show in November 2nd to be exact. We'll be out there doing the MC thing. Might be walking on the runway. Um, other events coming up, I'll be posting. But yeah, peace and love, guys.